You ever notice how society is packed full of rules that make absolutely no sense, but everyone follows them anyway? That's the funny part. We don't even question them. We just nod along like trained seals clapping for a sardine. You can't park here. You can't smoke there. You can't drink this before noon. You can't walk on the grass. You can't say certain words on TV. Who makes these rules? Nobody knows. They just appear out of thin air like magic tricks designed to keep us confused. Take eating, for example. Society says you can't have ice cream for breakfast. Why not? It's dairy, it's calcium, but pancakes drowned in syrup. Totally acceptable. A pile of sugar the size of a mattress, that's fine. But ice cream, oh no, that's bad. Same sugar, same nonsense, but one is breakfast and the other makes you a lunatic. These rules don't make sense. They're just rituals we repeat until they feel normal. Or take language. You can say kill, murder, blood, war all day long on television, no problem. But say a 4-letter word that describes something fun two consenting adults do in the dark. Suddenly it's a federal crime. The rules aren't logical, they're emotional. And they're enforced by people who look like they haven't laughed in 40 years. That's the beauty of it all. These rules aren't designed to make sense. They're designed to keep you in line, keep you thinking someone else knows better. But once you notice how dumb they are, once you stop pretending, the whole thing turns into comedy gold. You ever stop and think about how many rules we live by that don't make a damn bit of sense? I'm not talking about the basic ones like don't stab people or stop at red lights so we don't all die in flaming chaos on the highway. I'm talking about the weird, made up, completely arbitrary rules that everybody follows without ever asking why. And that's the funny part, we don't question them. We just swallow them whole like bad medicine and then act like they're sacred. Society is basically a cult run by imaginary rules nobody remembers writing down. From the time you're a kid, they start programming you. Don't talk with your mouth full. Why not? I've been practicing multitasking all my life. Maybe I want to tell a story while chewing spaghetti. What's the harm? Sure, a little food might fly out, but hey, that's just extra entertainment for the table. Or how about don't put your elbows on the table? You ever hear that one? Why? Who decided elbows were offensive? We can have feet under the table, knees under the table, armpits under the table, but elbows, no, that's the line. That's where civilization collapses. The whole world might implode if somebody dares lean in a little too comfortably at dinner. That's a rule, and people obey it like God wrote it on stone tablets. And clothes, that's a whole religion of rules in itself. Society says you have to wear appropriate clothes. You can't go to a wedding in shorts. You can't go to work in pajamas. You can't go to the grocery store naked. Okay, maybe the last one I get, but come on, pajamas. You mean to tell me the same sweatpants that are fine in my living room suddenly become a crime scene in aisle 5 at Walmart? Society's got rules about colors, too. You can't wear white after Labor Day. Who the hell came up with that one? Like the sun and the moon care about your pants. Like the universe is keeping score. Oh, look, Janet wore white in October. Better strike her with lightning. And everybody just nods like it makes sense. And speaking of clothes, ties. What's the deal with ties? It's literally a strip of cloth you wrap around your neck for no reason. It doesn't keep you warm. It doesn't hold anything together. It doesn't protect you from danger. All it does is choke you a little bit while signaling to other people that you're professional. Professional at what? Not tying. That's all it is. A tie is society's way of saying, strangle yourself slightly and we'll take you more seriously. And we go along with it. Men wear these things to job interviews, weddings, funerals. Every important occasion involves putting a news on and pretending you're comfortable. Then you get into the rules about food. My God, food is a minefield of nonsense. You can eat bacon and eggs for breakfast totally fine. But if you eat pizza for breakfast, suddenly you're insane. Why? It's bread, it's cheese, it's protein. It's practically the same thing. Meanwhile, society says cake is unacceptable in the morning. But if you call it a muffin, suddenly it's health food. You're eating cake for breakfast, people? A muffin is cake without frosting. That's it. And people are out here saying, I don't eat sweets in the morning. I just had a bran muffin. Yeah, that's a cupcake with an identity crisis. Society rules muffins are grown up. Cake is childish, even though they're the same damn thing. And then there's all the ridiculous rules about drinking. You can't drink alcohol before noon. Why not? If you can drink coffee at 6 in the morning, why can't I have a beer? They're both bean-based stimulants if you think about it. One makes you awake and anxious, the other makes you relaxed and sleepy. Balance! But no. Society says drinking in the morning makes you an alcoholic. Unless, of course, it's Sunday brunch. Then it's perfectly acceptable to drink champagne at 10 a.m. with orange juice. Call it a mimosa and suddenly you're sophisticated. Call it a screwdriver and suddenly you're a degenerate. Same alcohol, same hour of the day. Completely different judgment. Rules about holidays are pure insanity. Christmas, you have to have a tree. A tree! Dragged into your house, decorated with shiny balls, lights, and an angel stuck on top like a hostage. That's normal. That's what society says is festive. But if you put a decorated tree in your living room in July, you're insane. Oh my God, he's lost it. He's putting tinsel on the furniture. And birthdays. You have to blow out candles. You know what that is? Spitting on food. That's all it is. A child huffs and puffs on a cake, sprays it with germs, and then everybody eats it. That's the tradition, and nobody questions it. School is basically a training camp for rule following. Sit down, shut up, raise your hand. You want to go to the bathroom. Better ask permission like a prisoner begging for parole. Can't wear hats in class, can't chew gum, can't use your phone. All arbitrary, all enforced with deadly seriousness. And the homework rule. Oh, that's a good one. Work all day at school, then go home and keep working. No pay, no overtime. No benefits, just piles of worksheets. That's not education, that's unpaid child labor. But society says it builds character. Whose character? The teachers. And then we grow up and go into workplaces full of even dumber rules. Dress codes that force you to wear business casual. Which means what? Khakis. Khakis are the holy grail of mediocrity. Not jeans, not a suit. Somewhere in the bland middle. And why? So everyone looks equally boring. That's the rule. And meetings. You can't leave early. You can't fall asleep. You can't say what you're actually thinking. You have to use phrases like circle back and low, hanging fruit. And let's take this offline. Society invented a whole language of nonsense just to make people feel like they're working when they're not. Even bathrooms have rules. Public bathrooms especially. You can't use the stall right next to someone else if there are other ones available. That's the unspoken law. You walk into a men's room, there's a guy at a urinal, and you go to the one right next to him. You're a psychopath. Doesn't matter if that's the only one without pee on the floor. You keep the buffer zone. That's the rule. Nobody questions it. And women's bathrooms. Whole other level. There's a rule that total strangers have to compliment each other, help each other fix makeup, hold purses. It's like a secret society in there. Don't forget all the rules about language. The words you can say, the words you can't. You can say kill 1,000 times on TV and that's fine. But say the F word once and suddenly you're corrupting the youth. You can watch endless shows about murder, war, blood, and gore, but God forbid someone say a dirty word. The rules aren't based on logic. They're based on who got offended first. That's all it is. Society's rules are designed to protect feelings, not truth. And greetings, those are rituals we all follow. How are you? You have two answers, I'm fine. That's the rule. Doesn't matter if your dog just died, your house burned down, and you've got the flow. You say, I'm fine. Nobody wants the truth. Society has rules about small talk, talk about the weather, sports, traffic, nothing real, nothing important, just surface level nonsense. Because if you break the rule and say something meaningful, people look at you like you're insane. Even walking has rules. Sidewalk etiquette. You walk on the right. You don't stop in the middle. You don't walk 4 across blocking everyone else. But people break these rules constantly, and society punishes them with dirty looks. Not actual consequences, just glares. That's how society enforces half its rules, with silent judgment. Nobody arrests you, but everyone hates you quietly. And then there's all the unwritten rules about money. You're supposed to tip waiters 20%, but not cashiers. Why? Both people helped you. Both people are underpaid, but only one gets the tip. Society says that's the rule. And if you don't follow it, you're cheap. You can haggle at a garage sale, but not at Walmart. You can negotiate a car price, but not your rent. These aren't laws, they're traditions. Passed down like fairy tales, with just as much logic. That's the pattern. Society is full of these little nonsensical contradictory rules, and everyone follows them without question. We enforce them ourselves on each other, like unpaid cops. And if you dare say, hey, this doesn't make sense, you're the crazy one. Isn't it hilarious how society sets up these arbitrary rules about when things are acceptable and when they're not? We're not talking about laws of physics here. Gravity doesn't care if you eat a donut at midnight, but society sure does. Society says, no, donuts are for morning. Midnight is for sadness and regret. Everything has to happen at the right time, in the right place, with the right face. That's the game. That's how the script is written. And the best part is, we all follow it like puppets, never stopping to ask who the hell wrote these rules in the first place. Probably some guy who was bored, made up nonsense, and everyone else said, yeah, sounds good, let's keep that going forever. The food rules are the perfect example. You can eat eggs in the morning, that's fine. You can eat eggs at night, and suddenly people act like you're a psychopath. Scrambled eggs at 8 p.m. Are you okay? Do you need help? Meanwhile, pizza at 9 a.m., same reaction. But here's the kicker, society has breakfast pizzas now. You slap some bacon and eggs on the same crust. Call it breakfast. And suddenly it's acceptable. Same dough, same cheese, but if you rebrand it with a socially approved title, everyone claps. So apparently food isn't about nutrition, it's about marketing. And coffee. Oh, don't even get me started on coffee. Society says coffee is for mornings. But if you drink coffee at 10 p.m., people act like you've joined a terrorist group. Oh my God. You'll never sleep. Yeah, maybe that's the point. Maybe I don't want to sleep. Maybe I want to lie awake staring at the ceiling, questioning all these stupid rules. But no, you have to drink coffee before noon or it's suspicious. Meanwhile, alcohol, same thing, opposite rules. Can't drink before noon, but if you drink after 5 p.m., society applauds. Ooh, happy hour. Who made that rule? Who decided that 4:59 is alcoholism, but 500 is a celebration? The clock doesn't know. The liver sure as hell doesn't know. Only society keeps score, and apparently it's using a broken watch. Words are another area where society's arbitrary rule book really shines. You can say assault rifle on TV, no problem. Bombing raid, fine. Collateral damage, totally fine. But say shit, and suddenly you've corrupted the youth of America. Oh no, little Johnny heard a bad word. Better wash his mouth out with soap before he realizes his country has been bombing villages overseas. You see the logic here. Violence is okay. Sex is bad, murder is fine. A penis is scandalous. That's the whole rule book. And think about the specific words society freaks out over. You can say poo-poo on TV. Totally fine. Kids shows say it. Cartoons say it. Everybody laughs. But say shit and suddenly you've committed a federal crime. They mean the same damn thing. Different sound. Same substance. But society's rule book says one is giggles and the other is hellfire. It's not logic. It's sound preference. Imagine living in a world where syllables determine morality. Oh wait, that's exactly what we live in. It gets even dumber with sexual words. Society pretends you can't say them at all. You can show endless scenes of people getting shot, stabbed, blown up. But don't you dare say fuck. You can do it behind closed doors. You can sing about it in code. You can joke around it, but don't use the word. Like the word itself has magical powers that will melt children's ears off. And yet the word is everywhere in real life. People stub their toe. Fuck. Drop their phone. Fuck. Check their bank account. Fuck. It's the most useful word in the English language, and society acts like it's radioactive. Even politeness rules are arbitrary nonsense. You're supposed to say please and thank you. That's the rule. Doesn't matter if you're sincere or not. Just say the words and everyone nods. But here's the thing, people can say, please, in the rudest tone possible. Can you please stop? That's not polite. That's passive-aggressive venom. Meanwhile, somebody else might forget to say, please, but actually mean it kindly. And society calls them rude. So it's not about kindness. It's about following the script. Play your lines. Don't improvise. And etiquette at the table. Oh boy, you're supposed to use the right fork for the salad. Why? It's lettuce. You could eat it with a spoon. Nobody ever died from using the wrong fork. But if you're at a fancy dinner and grab the wrong piece of silverware, everyone looks at you like you just licked the plate. Society invented a code of forks just to separate the civilized from the savages. And you know what the big test is. Which shiny stick you use to stab leaves. That's the dividing line. And time itself, holy hell does society love to make arbitrary rules about time. Bedtime for you. Lunch break. You're supposed to eat lunch between 12 and 1. That's the sacred hour. Try eating lunch at 10:30. People think you're deranged. Lunch at this hour. Yes, Karen, I was hungry. The body doesn't know what time it is. The stomach doesn't check a clock. It just says, feed me. But society says, no, wait until the official lunch window opens. You're not living by biology. You're living by bureaucracy. Even greetings follow this ridiculous clock. Say good morning at 11:59, totally fine. Say it at 1. Suddenly you're a weirdo. It's afternoon now, idiot. Like those 2 minutes transformed the universe. Time is an invention, but society enforces it like it's law. Imagine aliens watching us. These creatures get angry if you greet them the wrong way depending on where the sun is. They're insane. Holidays are another treasure chest of arbitrary nonsense. Society decides what you can and can't do on them. Halloween, you can wear costumes, totally fine. Walk down the street dressed as a vampire in July, you're a lunatic. December 31st, you can drink until you puke, pass out in a stranger's bathroom, and it's considered festive. Try that in March, and it's alcoholism. Easter, chocolate eggs are normal. Any other day, a chocolate egg is confusing. Why is it shaped like that? Because a bunny brought it. Totally makes sense in April, total insanity in August. Rules about relationships are just as arbitrary. You're supposed to date one person at a time. That's the rule. But go back 500 years and kings had whole harems. Totally fine back then. Now it's cheating. Unless, of course, you call it polyamory and join the right Facebook group. Suddenly it's enlightened. Same action, different label. Society gives it a thumbs up. Engagement rings. Another scam rule. You're supposed to drop 3 months of salary on a shiny rock. Why? Because a diamond company made a commercial in the 1930s. That's it. That's the whole origin story. Some ad man said demons are forever, and now people bankrupt themselves to prove love. It's not romance, it's marketing hypnosis. Even how we behave in public is dictated by arbitrary rules. Don't talk too loud, don't laugh too hard, don't dance in the middle of the street. Why not? The street's already full of noise and chaos. What difference does one guy laughing make? But society doesn't like people standing out. Blend in, keep quiet, follow the pattern. That's the rule. Unless you're at a concert or a stadium. Then you're supposed to scream your head off. Same lungs, same vocal cords, different setting. The rules flip. Even money has its own rule book of nonsense. You can spend $200 on a dinner and that's considered classy. Spend the same $200 at an arcade. And you're wasting money. It's the same dollars, just different scenery. You can drop $5,000 in on a vacation and everyone claps. Drop $5,000 on comic books and everyone calls you a loser. Society doesn't care about the money. It cares about the story attached to it. What's respectable? What's childish? Same cash, different judgment. And don't forget the arbitrary rules about age. Society decides when you're old enough to do things. At 16, you can drive a car, a 2-ton death machine at 70 miles an hour. Totally fine. But you can't drink a beer until you're 21. At 18, you can vote, buy cigarettes, join the military, kill people in a war. But you still can't rent a car until you're 25. Apparently, you're old enough to die for your country, but not old enough to borrow a Honda Civic. That's society's math. Makes no sense, but everyone nods along. It's all one big collection of made-up, arbitrary nonsense. Rules about food, words, clothes, time, holidays, age, all designed to give the illusion of order, when really it's just chaos in a suit. Nobody wrote these rules with reason. They just appeared like mushrooms after a rainstorm. And we all agreed to treat them like commandments. The only way to survive this circus of nonsense we call life is to laugh at it. You can try to take it seriously. You can get outraged. You can write letters to the editor. But at the end of the day, Logic checked out a long time ago. Logic's not even in the parking lot anymore. Logic packed a suitcase, hopped on a Greyhound bus, and left town years ago. What we've got now is a giant improv show where everybody pretends the script makes sense. And if you don't laugh at it, you'll lose your mind. Look at the world around you. People arguing over rules they didn't make, can't explain, and don't even like. It's like being trapped in a board game with missing instructions. You've got folks yelling, "You can't move that piece like that!" And you're sitting there saying, "Why? The rules don't even make sense." And instead of admitting the rules are stupid, they double down. They tell you, that's the way it's always been. That's not a reason. That's a tradition of stupidity. And if you try to fight it, they'll call you the crazy one. That's why the only sane response is to laugh. Take the workplace, for example. You ever notice how offices are just theaters of pointless rules? Business casual. What the hell does that even mean? A collared shirt but no tie. Slacks but no jeans. It's like society said, we want you uncomfortable, but not too uncomfortable. Look sharp, but not